Hey, Michigan High School Steelhead Tournament anglers and mentors. My name is Jeremy Windsor. I am a high school and middle school teacher at Saranac Community Schools just outside of Grand Rapids. I am your tournament director for the 2026 tournament. This year's tournament registration opens July 1st and it runs all the way until September 1st. Please make sure you are getting your registration completed by September 1st. The tournament window this year is Friday, September 25th, all the way until Sunday, November 8th. Our tournament does have a mission. There are 3 components to the mission of our tournament: education, stewardship, and collaboration. Ultimately, we want our young anglers learning about our natural resources. We want them to appreciate and care for our natural resources. And then finally, we want them to build lifelong relationships, whether that be with their team members or with the mentors that are helping them out, or also the opposing teams that they're competing against. We've done a great job of this in the past. We've had lots of teams that still communicate with each other, share social media information, chat with each other pretty regularly. So let's continue to build that collaboration and build on those relationships with those people that are also in the tournament with us. Who is the tournament open to? It is open to all students in grades 7 through 12 that are in some form of educational program. You must be enrolled. This could be a homeschool co-op. It could be a private school or some form of virtual learning opportunity, or even a Michigan public school. We do check up on our students to make sure that they are enrolled in programs. So please make sure that those individuals that are registering are enrolled in an education-based 7 through 12 program. Each team needs to identify a liaison or mentor, and that individual needs to be designated on the registration form. This individual should have a phone number that is easy to contact, or even an email address is acceptable as well. Students also may have the opportunity to compete individually, but please make sure that if you are competing individually, you are spending time fishing with other individuals. We don't ever want there to be an emergency situation where we have people out on the water by themselves, where there is not support. So please make sure you are fishing with somebody else. Your tournament entry, super easy. We'll go through this a couple of times. Number 1, you have to fill out the registration form. It needs to be completely done. This means that you're filling out contact information for yourself, contact information for your partner for the tournament if you choose to have one, and contact information for your mentor, coach, liaison, whichever you prefer to call them. If you are running into any type of technical issues, please feel free to contact me. You can send me an email. You'll find that in many of the places, especially the registration form, it even has my phone number. Please feel free to give me a phone call if you're running into some type of problem that you need solutions to. The registration cost comes through the purchase of your tournament apparel. We've gone a different route this year with ordering apparel items. I think we've got a pretty good system down this year. We're using a company called Bonfire, and we've tested this out numerous times. They stand behind their product, and their product comes really quick. So you should not have to worry about materials not being there by the start of the tournament. I've ordered numerous things off of the tournament store, and they are within 6 days. I've already gotten information about it. It's either shipped or it's already at my door. So Bonfire's been great to us so far. Each item on the Bonfire store is upcharged slightly. This year, we tried to give students a huge variety of different apparel items to choose from. That allowed them to choose things that were less expensive, or maybe you're an individual that really likes the big, heavy sweatshirts. We've got some pretty high-end, heavy sweatshirts that are quite a bit more expensive. Again, everything on the tournament store is upcharged slightly, Please note, we are not making any money on this tournament. None of our moderators make money on this tournament. As a director, I do not either. Everything that we do for this tournament gets turned around and put right back into the things that kids need. For example, any money that we make off the tournament goes directly to awards. Any money that we make off of the tournament goes directly to calling cards or bump boards, those materials that you are going to receive in order to make the tournament run. So please be mindful of the fact that the individuals that are helping with this are doing this entire thing out of the charity and goodness of their heart. There is nobody making money on our tournament, and we want to keep it that way. We are trying to get students involved in outdoor recreation. We are not trying to raise any money for anything short of just making this happen for kids. The registration form is found on our website. It's also found on any of our social media. Here in the next 5 to 10 minutes after I finish up with this tournament video, I will post out the 3 steps to registering on our social media links, so those will be easily accessible to you as well. Please make sure you're filling out that entire registration form. When you finish the registration form and you submit it, you will then get a confirmation that it has been sent. You will also receive a GroupMe code. Please write down that GroupMe code. We are again going to use GroupMe for communication. Once the registration is done, I will communicate lots of information to you after registration is over. So please, if you have not downloaded GroupMe, please make sure that you download GroupMe on the App Store and then enter our GroupMe code. Those of you that were in the tournament last year, you'll find it is the exact same code as last year, so you may already be enrolled in this year's tournament if you were there last year. I just changed the title of the tournament to 2026. When is the tournament? Registration opens July 1st, and registration runs through Monday, September 1st. The official start of the tournament is September 25th at 3 p.m. That is the point where I will release the calling card code. We'll release that on social media and on our website. That code needs to be written neatly, legibly on your calling card, and then any submitted photograph that is entered into the tournament that should have that calling card in the photograph of your fish that you are submitting. Your fish will be on a bump board. We'll go over scoring here in just a little bit. The wrap-up of the tournament. It ends Sunday, November 8th at 12 p.m. Please make sure that you have all submissions sent by 12 p.m. on November 28th. This tournament gives us 6 full weekends to fish. It is 6 weeks, 1 day, and 21 hours, or 1,053 hours, or 63,180 minutes. You have lots of time to compete in our tournament. Fall has the potential to have variations in weather. Please choose dates and times that you are fishing where you can remain safe with regard to what the weather conditions are. Also, take into account water levels. If we have a downpour of rain and water levels get extremely high on most Michigan rivers, there is the potential that we may say we will not accept any submissions of photographs over a window of time due to the water levels being unsafe. Think back to this past spring and many of the things that we dealt with this past spring. We always want our kids and our anglers to be safe. We will always take river levels and weather conditions into consideration as the tournament progresses. One of the things that we tend to hear a lot about every single year is why in the world are we doing a fall steelhead tournament instead of a spring steelhead tournament? We have put a massive amount of thought into the why behind a fall steelhead tournament. There is a poster that's floating around on social media and on our tournament website. You are welcome to check that out. There is justification for why we are doing the tournament when we are doing it. I've even had people argue before about the steelhead not being in the rivers in the fall. I assure you, there are plenty of steelhead in the rivers in the fall. Kids have lots of success during that window of time. There may be more steelhead in the spring when spawning is happening, but there are enough steelhead in the fall for young anglers to be successful. Where is our tournament going to take place? Our tournament takes place anywhere in the state of Michigan. Please note that there are closings that occur on some smaller tributaries. We'll get into that a little bit later in the video. You are allowed to fish any body of water that is open during the time that you are fishing it. Please use the DNR regulation maps in order to ensure that the bodies of water you are fishing are truly open. This year, we do have the brown trout bonus. Every single year of the tournament, we have a bonus opportunity. This year, we're adding an extra species into that bonus. In years past, we've done other things like collaboration bonus. This year, we're going with a fishing bonus. The brown trout bonus only occurs until the close of the trout season. So the trout season closes at the end of September. Our tournament opens at 3 p.m. on Friday, September 25th. That gives you nearly a week to fish all of those bodies of water that are going to close at the end of September, specifically targeting brown trout for your submission. One fish could very easily change this tournament pretty drastically. You may have a fish within that first window of time, that first week before trout season closes, that controls the entire tournament. So please get out, learn about the regulation maps, check out the rivers and streams near you, jump on the DNR stocking database, figure out where have brown trout been stocked. Target those for the first week. Any brown trout photos that are submitted, while super, super cool, and we really like the extra submissions, and we like seeing you guys being successful on the water, any additional brown trout that are submitted at the end of the trout season are not going to be scored. The only brown trout that are scored are in that first window of time until the end of the trout season. Okay? Please also remember that any submission must have your calling card in it. And the calling card code that is released at 3 p.m. on Friday, September 25th, that code must be written on your calling card. This ensures that your fish is actually caught during the tournament window. All right? So digging a little bit deeper into our rules for the tournament, you must fish Michigan streams. Can't go out on Lake Michigan or Lake Huron or Lake Erie or Lake Superior and fish on those large bodies. Any river or stream in the state of Michigan that is open to angling during the time that you're fishing it is within our rules. Please make sure that if you are an angler 17 years of age or older, you are getting a valid Michigan fishing license for this year as well. You cannot purchase or barter for information or GPS waypoints from fishing guides. There has been a little bit of confusion on this particular rule in the past, though. You are welcome to fish with somebody that guides for a living. What we don't want to see happen is we don't want to see parents paying for services to get these young anglers on the water. In essence, we don't want parents paying for success. If there is a guide or a boat captain that would like to share their knowledge and their time, and they have availability on their boat and they are willing to take young people out, we are not saying that they cannot do that. What we're saying is we do not want them hiring a boat captain. All of our competitors should be casting and retrieving their own line. We do tend to have a little bit of open discussion every year on this. As far as like lines being set, if you're plugging, it's no big deal if like the boat captain is setting a bunch of lines, getting them set up inside of some type of holder, and they're plugging or back trolling. and that young angler, after everything's set up, is the one that reels in the fish. That's perfectly fine. What we really don't want to see is we don't want to see adults doing all of the fishing and then handing rods off to kids to reel in fish. We really want the kids to participate in this process. Now, we do understand that some young anglers, 7th, 8th graders that have never fished before, and this may be their first experience steelhead fishing, they may need a substantial amount of help. We're okay with help. What we're trying to get away from is where adults are doing all the work for the students. So adults, we need you to be responsible in this area. Only steelhead or rainbow trout will count toward competition standing, with the exception of that one brown trout bonus this year. Again, that brown trout submission must occur prior to September 30th and the close of trout season at midnight that night. Please make sure that you are practicing safety while boating. I'm not going to spend a whole ton of time on this, but I do want you guys to make sure that you are being safe while on the water. When in doubt, please err towards being safe. Some of the things that we always suggest is, one, make sure that you have a Coast Guard approved personal flotation device, usually on a young angler while the combustion engine is running. Please remain seated while a boat is being operated. Make sure that coaches and captains, you are following through on being the example to showing these young people how to be safe. Again, at the direction of myself and my group that moderates the tournament, there is the potential of tournament days being shortened, postponed, or canceled due to unsafe weather or water conditions. Again, we've kind of thrown that in there just because of what we saw this past spring with water levels just being so hazardous. So please be mindful of being safe while you're on the water. Above everything else, we want young people to be safe. All right, so when you submit your entries of your steelhead, each steelhead caught throughout the tournament will have a photo that is taken of it. That photo will be submitted. The photo must have the fish on its right anatomical side, meaning that it is laying on its right side. If you were the fish, which side's the right side? The right side will be laid down on the bump board. The fish's nose must touch the bump at the front of the board. Please note, we have had fish that have been submitted. I understand sometimes you catch a fish, you get it on the bump board, it's really hard to kind of hold it there. It's difficult to get a good photograph. We have had deductions that have occurred because fish have not been pushed completely up to the bump of the board. So please make sure you're getting the bump of the board. The other issue that we've had in the past is people not opening the bump board completely, and it turns into a situation where it is easy to tell that that bump board is not open completely, and the scoring of that fish has been greatly reduced. There have been penalties that have been associated with bump boards not being completely opened up when submitting photographs. That is something that we specifically look for in every single photograph that comes in. Make sure that when you open that bump board, it clicks and the little latch locks in place. You'll hear it click once it gets to that entire open position. Your lengths on the bump board will be in sequential order. It's real easy to see whether you have from 18 inches, 19 inches, and then you jump to 22 inches, and you're missing an inch in there. Please make sure that those bump boards are opened all the way up. Again, anybody that submits photographs where those boards are not opened all the way up, you're going to lose points on your fish. Okay? Photos will be submitted either through the group me, or my email, or my cell phone. Please take a minute right now, write down my cell phone number, 989-807-0405. Add it to your contacts. Right? Jeremy Windsor, Steelhead Tournament Director. I don't care how you guys tag me. but make sure you get my cell phone entered into your phones so that then once you have those photographs, you can easily submit them to me. Again, if you're choosing to send them via email or via GroupMe, those are both acceptable as well. The fish's total length will be added to the team's overall score. Your 3 largest fish plus 1 brown trout, and that brown trout potentially may increase in size over that window of time that you're allowed to target brown trout as well. Say you catch one on the first day that's 12 inches, and 3 days later you catch one that's 13 inches. We can upgrade the brown trout, but only one of those brown trout will score in your overall standing. Your 3 largest steelhead plus 1 brown trout will go to your entire team score. We will do intermittent updates of the leaderboard throughout the tournament. Follow our social media sites in order to keep track of those. Submit all photos of all fish that you catch, because we have some super awesome sponsors that are sending in prizes and other materials. You are going to want to send every single picture of any unique species or any unique fish that you catch as well, because there are a few special awards that pop up over the course of the tournament as well. So here's just a couple of pictures that I want to show and kind of walk through to make sure that we understand bump boards and how we're putting fish on those bump boards and how we're using them. Fish should be measured on their right anatomical side. So you'll notice the picture on the left, the fish is laying on its left side. A fish that is laying on its left anatomical side will not be scored. It must be on its right anatomical side. So that fish right over there on the left-hand side, 2023 calling card, that fish does not get scored. In the upper right-hand corner, we have a picture of a rainbow trout that does not have a calling card in the background. That fish does not get scored. I don't know if you caught that fish last year, today, yesterday, in a week. I don't know if you caught it during the tournament. If there is no calling card, your fish will not score. And then down at the bottom right-hand side, the picture there as well, you'll notice that the hands are covering the entire fish. Please do not put your hands over the entire fish, okay? We don't ever want there to be any potential of allegations of cheating. Don't lay your hands over the entire fish. Yes, I understand they flop around a little bit. Take your pictures quickly. Get the fish back in the water. Don't hold your hands over the entire width of the body. You'll notice the picture in the left here. The angler does have their hand over the fish, but it's not covering the entire width of the body. I can tell that that is one fish. So in order to submit an appropriate photo, you'll see right here in the middle at the bottom, we've got this brown trout laying on its right anatomical side. Its nose is touching the front bump. There is a calling card with a calling card code that is legibly written, and then the fish is laying out on that on its right anatomical side on that bump board. That is a perfect photograph. That photograph is submitted. Now, every now and again, when you guys take photos and you say maybe you have an Android and I have an iPhone, sometimes when you send those photos, they come through very, very grainy. Feel free to take multiple pictures. Sometimes I have to request numerous times a photo from you in different avenues. Like maybe I'll ask for it to come in email because sometimes when it goes from one type of phone to another type of phone, they come through where we cannot get a very good reading on what the length of that fish is. If you are really concerned about it, shoot a picture of just the tail end of the fish as well. And that way, maybe a zoomed in picture, so that way then you have an extra piece of evidence to send us if there was some type of argument with the judges. I will tell you, we do allow you, when you have submitted a photo to our judges, and it's come through me, and I send a score back to you on that particular fish, we do allow you to have one appeal. That appeal comes through. I request the judges go back and look at the photograph again and score the fish again. Their final ruling on the length of that fish is what we will use for scoring. So please make sure you're taking photos that are quality photos that allow us to score the fish appropriately. You are also encouraged to take photos holding your fish. So you can see kind of in the background in this photograph here, or on this slide here, you can see we've got the hero shot where the fish is being held up. We have the angler holding the fish as well. You do get one additional bonus point for every submission that has a hero shot with either a sponsor item in it or your tournament shirt. We really like you guys wearing your tournament shirts, especially when you're out on the water. You get an additional point by wearing that shirt and having it in the photo. Now, say you forgot to bring your tournament shirt, but you brought one of our other sponsors' hats. If I see a photograph that is a hero shot that has one of our sponsors' hats or apparel items in it as well, we will still give you that 1 point, but we really like to see the tournament shirts. We are looking for those apparel items in your photos, okay? Wade anglers and watercraft anglers, you are both highly encouraged to wear your personal flotation devices. Obviously, you have to have a PFD in a boat no matter what, so please make sure that you have those with you. Wade anglers, it's always a positive thing for you to wear a PFD. Please also, especially early on in the tournament, handle your fish with care. We are a catch and release tournament. Now, I do know that obviously we have young anglers. Sometimes a fish gets hooked a little bit deep, or maybe a situation happens where it's the first steelhead that a young angler has ever caught in their entire life, and they really want to take it home and they want to know what steelhead tastes like, and they want to cook it up at home. We are not going to discourage students from doing that, but we are going to tell you all that we are specifically designing this tournament in a way that allows for catch and release. We love to see young anglers, have that opportunity and then allow that fish to go back and do its thing. Selective harvest, we know there is a biological benefit to selective harvest, and we're not telling people that they absolutely cannot do that. But we do set the tournament up in a way that we do like to see catch and release angling. When you measure your fish on the bump board, please make sure it is on its right anatomical side. If you are handling your fish, make sure you wet down your hands. Don't use a towel to hold your fish. Obviously, sometimes later in the tournament, the water temperatures get really, really, really cold. Handle the fish quickly, get it back in the water if you're releasing it. Make sure that you're not poking it in the eyes or the gills. And then make sure that you're supporting the fish's body weight when you're holding it up before releasing it. What we don't want to have happen is, catching fish and then making the decision that you're going to release it, and at that point the fish has been out of the water so long, or there's damage to its gills where it's just not able to survive. Early on in the tournament, I was mentioning earlier, early on in the tournament, we may have hot temperatures. Don't take your fish and lay it on, the gunnels of your boat that have been baking in the sun. Make sure that you're wetting down the bump board. Dip your hands in water. All those types of things are just good practice for catch and release. And again, if you are going to not harvest your fish, keep it in the water as much as possible. Here are some other examples of hero shot photos that gave bonus points. You can see here all of these individuals have their Michigan High School Steelhead Tournament shirts on from either this year or the year previously. Some of them have apparel items in their photos as well. Looks like Jason in the upper right-hand corner might be wearing a bloop hat. They were a tournament sponsor a number of years ago. Lamaglass, you can see Miss Mager at the bottom down there in her glasses. She has a Lamaglass hat on. She would earn bonus points for having her tournament shirt on, or for her Lamaglass hat as well. So you only get one bonus point per hero shot. You need to have either that tournament shirt or some type of sponsor item. So how do you go about winning our tournament? Top 3 steelhead caught by each team will be scored. You can progressively upgrade the steelhead that you catch. So if you caught a 12-inch steelhead, a 14-inch steelhead, and a 22-inch steelhead, and then the next outing you caught one that was 14 inches, you could upgrade that smallest fish that was 12 inches to advance your team scoring. So the tournament's never over. Somebody could win it in the last 5 minutes by catching a larger fish in their creel than what their smallest fish is and upgrading their score. Couple of examples here. Team A, 24-inch steelhead, 15-inch steelhead, 18-inch steelhead. They are sitting at the total score of 57 inches. Team B has a 20-inch steelhead, a 12-inch brook trout, a 26-inch steelhead, for a total of only 46 inches because the brook trout does not count in their scoring. Brook trout are super cool. If you catch one, submit us a picture. We love seeing those photographs. Just know that not all fish are going to score for you, though, again, we have some sponsors that have submitted some pretty cool prizes for non-target species, so you are welcome to always send in those photographs. Our tournament is designed to allow youth anglers an opportunity to get out and enjoy the outdoors with a little bit of friendly competition. The desire is to build future stewards of our natural resources. It's the appreciation of the sport that unites us, and this tournament is intended to reflect that specific thing. Ultimately, we all have the passion for angling. We love being outdoors, and we're just trying to unite all of us through this friendly competition. Camaraderie and stewardship are the prize, not necessarily the awards that are received at the end of the tournament, though we do give awards at the end of the tournament. New this year, we talked about it already, the brown trout bonus, opportunity to add an additional scoring fish to your team's overall score. And that bonus only takes place until the closing of trout season on September 30th at midnight. No submissions of brown trout will be accepted after that deadline. So this opportunity kind of creates a high-stakes start to this year's tournament. You got to make a choice. Am I targeting steelhead early on, or am I going to target brown trout early on? Am I going to try to earn that brown trout bonus early so that then I can have that score follow me through the tournament? Because once we get to the end of September, it won't count. So you got to make some choices about where you're fishing, how you're fishing, and what you're going to do to try to be successful with that bonus opportunity. There is going to be a little bit of strategy that's involved in this. So you need to think it out, do some research, maybe do some preseason scouting, and get prepared for that brown trout bonus. Couple of different examples here for scoring. Team C has a 25-inch steelhead, a 16-inch steelhead, a 19-inch steelhead. Their total score is 60 inches. Maybe at the beginning of the tournament, they were like, you know what, we're just going to make sure we get our creel of steelhead, and we're going to just see where we're going to be. And they didn't target any brown trout, so they didn't have any to enter at the beginning. They score 60 inches. That's their team standing at the end of the tournament. Team D has a 24-inch steelhead, a 15-inch steelhead, an 18-inch steelhead. You'll notice every single steelhead is 1 inch smaller than Team C. But because Team D submits a 10-inch brown trout between September 25th and the close of the season, the trout season, they have a total of 67 inches. So that brown trout just made a big difference for Team D. Team F, they submit a 23-inch steelhead, a 14-inch steelhead, a 12-inch steelhead, and a 12-inch brown trout is submitted on October 15th. They only have 49 total inches because that brown trout was submitted after the deadline of September 30th, and they are not scored in the tournament. Though it's super cool, feel free to submit those photos. They will not be entered in your team standings. Again, there is 1 additional inch added to any scoring fish where you also submit a hero shot. We like sharing those hero shots with our community that follows the tournament. Our sponsors love to see you guys being successful on the water. Please feel free to send those hero shots, and they earn you a little extra when you send them in. This poster right here is our brown trout bonus poster that explains the scoring. It's got some information about where you can go to find the river and stream county maps. I guess maybe I shouldn't call them county maps anymore. They always used to be by county or counties, and now they've all been updated on the website. They have got a really unique website that you can just zoom in on areas that you're fishing and you can see the streams. They're all color coded for you. So please make sure that you're using that resource. And then the DNR does have a fish stocking database that shows where the DNR has been stocking fish. You can just simply put in brown trout and it will give you places in your county that brown trout have been stocked, or near counties, or counties that maybe you are going to be fishing in because you're going to go steelhead fishing later on that weekend as well. All right. As always, if you have questions for me, please reach out, get a hold of me. I do want to jump backwards here in just a moment and kind of roll through our website so that you're familiar with it. But again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. This is our tournament homepage. We've got a lot of information on our tournament homepage that you are welcome to peruse. If you scroll down on this homepage, what you're going to find is information about our tournament store. You're welcome to click on the link from there for ordering your official merchandise to get registered for the tournament. I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to our moderators. These moderators are the people that kind of help through the process of making the tournament run smoothly. They do a lot of outreach early on. They are Cody Godwin, Eric Eliason, Nate Allwood, Mike Mager, and Chad Elliott. Our intern, Savannah Mager, is moved on to college, and she is super busy with, being a college student. And so she has relinquished her title as intern. We've actually talked quite a bit as a board about trying to find an individual, specifically maybe an individual that is female that would be willing to oversee outreach for the tournament, specifically related to our young lady anglers. How do we promote the tournament for our lady anglers? How do we get other young ladies involved in the tournament? Maybe in the future we're looking at just a female end of the tournament where young lady anglers are competing against other young ladies. Though I will say that our ladies in the tournament in the past, they have been formidable opponents, and the boys, they have taken their licks from some of these girls. These girls spend a lot of time on the water and are very good little anglers. We do look forward to having our young lady anglers, compete at the highest level in this tournament. Again, if you know of somebody that is interested in taking on an advisory type role for our young lady anglers, we potentially are looking for that moving forward. And we're also looking for individuals that can help with fundraising to make the tournament something that is there's an ease of access for our anglers. We've been running this tournament for quite a few years now. So this is year 6. The very first year that I ran the tournament, I did it just within my classroom. And then a short while later, it became very obvious that we should extend it statewide. So we have a records board that has been kind of regularly beaten. We've got a lot of young anglers that do an excellent job out on the water. And they are catching some very quality fish. And so we've kind of started to keep track of what are those fish lengths that we're getting in the tournament, who's winning the tournament, what lengths are we kind of shooting for. You can see all-time records here. I would love to see those top rankings broke year in and year out. Man, I would just love to see some of those record fish fall every single year. It's super cool to see kids be successful on the water, and it's always fun to add new records to our list. So this right here is just the records for total length, no bonus points added. This is just cut and dry, the lengths that most teams are aiming for year in and year out. If you can put together a creel of fish that is exceeding 85 inches, man, you are doing a phenomenal job. You are catching some very quality fish. So That's our list of highest standings in the past. As always, we are still always looking for individuals or companies that are interested in sponsoring the tournament. We cannot do this tournament without the sponsors that we get. We have a huge number of businesses, business partners that have come beside us with this tournament that have said, we want to support you, and they are submitting materials either by their own labor or out of their own pockets. We are super excited to have those individuals that are willing to come beside us and help us run this tournament and give us some support, whether that be financially or through the donation of goods or materials. It's always super cool to see some of the companies that put together like little gift baskets and stuff for kids, and then us being able to send a photograph back to those companies and be like, look what our kids in the tournament were able to accomplish using your product. If you are one of those individuals that wants to help support the tournament, we are always looking for some additional help. All right, I'm going to scroll back up on our website. Tournament registration is linked right here. When you click on that tournament registration, you will see information related to it coming soon. Probably by the time you watch this video, it'll be already updated. Brown trout bonus, it's listed right there. Information related to why a fall steelhead tournament. Couple of promotional flyers. And we are already putting together our tournament sponsors list. We are greatly appreciative of those tournament sponsors that we've had thus far come beside us. Tournament rules right up at the top of the tournament page. You're going to need to watch this video in its entirety. You are then going to need to scroll down, and you will need to order an apparel item off of our Bonfire store, and you have to fill out the registration form completely. Please make sure you do those 3 things prior to September 1st. You will be all registered as long as you get that done by that time. And then it's just a matter of waiting until September 25th to get your calling card code. We will have all of your packets sent out to you well before September 25th. Those packets will have your calling cards in them, some sponsor donated materials. They will go to either the liaison or coach that you've identified for your team, or they may end up going to one of the individuals that are listed on your team that has an address that is easily accessible. Those materials will be coming to your house. Sometimes the bump boards come separately, so be on the lookout for those things. Typically the bump boards come via Amazon. I think that is all we have. I'm looking forward to this year's tournament. Again, please feel free to reach out if you have questions about this year's tournament. My email is jwindsor@saranacschools.org, or my cell phone number is 989-807-0405.